Live from WRAL News headquarters in Raleigh, your number one source for local news. WRAL News, coverage you can count on.
I'm tracking showers and thunderstorms. I'll show you when all of this rain will finally move out. Coming up.
A suspected shooter in court. The new details we learned during his appearance involving the 15-year-old who was hurt.
And March Madness excitement, how our local teams are ranking and how much you could get a ticket for. Well, right now at noon, we are watching more rain moving through parts of our viewing area. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Renee Chu.
And I'm Jeff Hogan. We just can't kick it out on this St. Patrick's Day right now. Meteorologist Amy Wilmoth is in the Severe Weather Center right now. And I guess, Amy, that green just doesn't want to get off our map, huh?
That's right. Very fitting for St. Patrick's Day, but it's just kind of relentless. It doesn't want to go anywhere. We have scattered showers. We even had a thunderstorm. We had a little lightning bolt here in southern Chatham County just a short time ago. Nothing severe. We don't expect anything severe, but check out the oranges and the reds. That's a sign of some pretty heavy rain falling near Sanford. So some scattered showers there with some heavier rain, and just a short time ago there was some thunder also. In the Triangle, we've had some spotty showers. We have a little shower moving close to the airport, getting close to Apex and Cary as well. Durham, some light rain there. Chapel Hill has had some light rain. Our northern counties have had some scattered showers. Haven't seen any lightning up here, but some scattered showers in our northern communities as well. We have a camera up there at Lake Gaston. This camera showing the rain coming down and lots of raindrops on the lens there. So a bit gloomy out there today. The good news is we'll have some scattered showers the next few hours, and then they'll start to move away. Still a few showers later this evening around 5:30, and then beyond that we should have clearing skies and our rain chances really drop off. Temperatures in the low 60s today, but it is going to get colder tonight. I'll show you how cold it gets and when we see our next round of rain coming up.
New at noon, we just learned the National Weather Service confirmed an EF1 tornado touched down in Pender County, just north of Wilmington. This happened last night around 7:30 near Herrings Chapel Road and Mulberry Branch. That's in Rocky Point. The county emergency management director says damage includes several snapped trees and downed power lines. It affected very few homes, though, and there's been no reported structural damages or injuries. National Weather Service will also survey parts of Perquimans County for a possible tornado. This is in the eastern part of our state, right near Elizabeth City. This is damage from video of that damage that happened shortly after 3 o'clock this morning. There were several homes that were damaged and debris was scattered around that area. No word on any injuries there.
The man accused of shooting a 15-year-old in the head in Nash County is being held on a $500,000 bond. Zachary Bryant appeared in court for the first time this morning. This all unfolded during a reported robbery Friday night. WRAL's Chelsea Donovan has been following this. Chelsea, what else are we learning about what happened here?
Yeah, so Bryant faces 4 felonies and a max of 41 years in prison if convicted for these crimes. He asked the judge to lower his bond, but the judge denied that. And so he is here in the Nash County Detention Center under a $500,000 bond. Now, this is video of Bryant from his first court appearance this morning. Sheriff Keith Stone said the suspect is a lineman in the community with 2 children and no criminal history. This all happened Friday night around 10 o'clock when deputies responded to a home on Savage Road in Spring Hope. Bryant told dispatchers there was items stolen from his truck. Deputies said Bryant went back in his house, put clothes on, and got a handgun. As he searched his truck, he noticed his tools were missing. And so Bryant saw a car matching a description of the car he saw with teenagers inside. So he fired shots in the car to try to disable it. He then, according to the sheriff's office here, hit a 15-year-old in the head. That 15-year-old is in critical condition right now at Wake Met.
You cannot use deadly force when you're mad at someone. You cannot use deadly force if you're stealing property. You cannot use deadly force at any time unless your life is in jeopardy. That's the law.
And the sheriff says charges are still pending against the teenagers involved in these robberies. As far as Bryant, he'll remain here in the Nash County Jail. And we should also mention he's due back in court next month for a probable cause hearing. Live in Nash County, Chelsea Donovan, WRAL News.
Also today, the man charged with stabbing 4 people during a fight at a bar in Raleigh is expected in court. Police say Madison Hatcher is in custody, charged with 4 counts of assault with a deadly weapon. Police say this happened on Wake Forest Road Friday night. A fight started inside the bar, and the father of two of the victims, Chase and Christian Storch, tell us the brothers were in ICU. Christian's life was saved when the knife was stopped by one of his ribs, just over his heart. Police also arrested a woman and charged her with simple assault and drunken disorderly conduct. All four people who were hurt are expected to live.
And happening right now in the WRAL Live Center, we now know who will be performing at the fifth and final year of Dreamville at Diggs Park. They just released the lineup of some of the big names that are going to be there. They include Ludacris, Lil Wayne, 21 Savage, Keisha Cole, all in the lineup. April 5th and 6th at Diggs Park. This year marks its fifth and final year. More than 100,000 people attended last year from several different countries. Raleigh raked in $145 million from Dreamville. Tickets are available online. Again, it is April 5th and 6th.
All right, get ready for some slowdowns through part of downtown Raleigh. Work on a new city hall means some roads will have to close. WRAL's Noah Klein is here now with which ones and for how long, Noah?
Jeff, these road closures are set to last for at least the rest of the year. The city's going to close a westbound lane on Hargett Street between McDowell Street and Dawson Street. That's to accommodate for those cranes up in the air doing some work. All businesses in the area are staying open. There's going to be signs pointing out those detours. Time-lapse video from the city shows some of the progress here that crews have already been able to make. Right now, the new city hall is about 20% done. City officials say the new building, again, is going to be completed relatively soon. As you see this footage here and the time lapse over time, they say it'll be more convenient for people who live in the area. That's because you can do everything under one roof. You can pay those bills, receive permits, and attend city council meetings. The city points out it'll also be helpful for employees from several different departments, now all working under one roof.
Noah, thanks. President Trump says he will speak with Russian President Vladimir Putin tomorrow. Trump told media on board Air Force One he hopes he and Putin will have something to announce about the ceasefire proposal with Ukraine. He says negotiations would include discussions around land and power plants. The ongoing talks have already included discussions on dividing up certain assets. It's a new week. Let's take a look at stocks now. The Dow is trying to make a comeback from correction territory. It is in the green, up about 220 points. S&P 500 also advancing 10 points. The Nasdaq is the only one in the red, down 60 points at this hour. We expect to learn this week who the next chancellor of NC State will be. The full UNC System Board of Governors will meet tomorrow morning at 9:30. The board says they will elect a chancellor for NC State. A report from 24/7 Sports cites several sources saying Kevin Howell will get the job. He's currently the Chief External Affairs Officer for UNC Health. Before that, he served as NC State's Vice Chancellor for External Affairs. He is also an NC State alum. Howell would replace Randy Woodson, who announced months ago that he will retire at the end of June.
College basketball players, their families, and fans will spend plenty of time in the Triangle this week for March Madness. 4 local venues will host men's and women's games this week, a lot of them. WRAL's Chris Lovegood is here now with the excitement that's building as the tournament gets underway, Chris.
Oh, all 3 Triangle women's teams are in the top 3 seeds there, Jeff. And this is the first time that's happened since 1998. That means Duke, UNC, and NC State have home court advantage for the first 2 rounds of the tournament. And this morning, we heard from UNC and NC State's head coaches. UNC head coach Courtney Banghart was asked about the team having rest before heading into March Madness. And with some of the injuries the team experienced and pressure that comes with home court advantage, Coach Banghart says the rest was very much needed.
Going. And I know that for us not to have an opponent to focus on, for us to have some days away, there's a refreshment that needs to happen as you prepare for this next gauntlet. And it couldn't have happened at a better time.
NC State is trying to reach the Final Four for the second straight season. Head coach Wes Moore says the schedule this year is similar to last year's tournament, and he said the team is thrilled to be back.
I'm proud of this team for being able to secure a home bid. That's, to me, probably the thing that keeps me up at night more than anything else is trying to secure one of those top 16 spots.
Now, here's a rundown of this week's schedule for the women's tournament. Duke, NC State, and UNC will all host first and second round games on their home courts. Duke will play Lehigh at 8 p.m. this Friday. NC State will take on Vermont Saturday afternoon at 2. And it's UNC versus Oregon State this Saturday at 4:30 p.m. Now, for the men's teams, Duke will play their first game Friday afternoon at 2:50 at Lenovo Center. They'll play whoever wins the match between Mount St. Mary's and American University. The Tar Heels will play as part of the tournament's first four against San Diego State on Tuesday night. That game is in Ohio. A lot of excitement is building for March Madness, and a lot of eyes will be on the Triangle for the beginning, Jeff.
Yeah, Chris, we call that good old-fashioned home cooking. It's happening right now. And coming up next at noon, this is just perfect. Hot ticket. The prices for those games here in Raleigh and what demand is like today.
Also, mysterious disappearance. New details about who was last to see a U.S. college student and the search that continues in the Dominican Republic.
Plus, southern storms, the damage and death after tornadoes ripped through parts of the South.
Keep watching WRAL News over the air Channel 34 and Spectrum Channel 1257.
And back here in the WRAL Live Center, some sad news to report out of Harnett County. A teenager was killed in an ATV crash. It happened late last night south of Sanford. The crash was reported just around 9 o'clock last night along NC Highway 24 near Claude White Road. I want to show you on Google Maps exactly where we are talking about. You can see Claude White Road with the red marker there. And if you zoom in, this is Highway 24. This is where that crash happened. North Carolina State Highway Patrol say the ATV with 4 people on it was traveling on the shoulder of NC 24 when the ATV hit a mud hole, rolling over and ejecting a teenager from the vehicle. That teenager did die at the scene. Police are not releasing the name of that teenager due to their age. They say charges against the ATV driver are still pending.
The Trump administration says it has deported hundreds of migrants affiliated with a prominent Venezuelan gang. Those deportations came under a sweeping wartime authority from 1798 called the Alien Enemies Act. A federal judge temporarily blocked the administration's ability to use that act on Saturday. The judge ordered planes in the air carrying those migrants to turn back to the U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio says El Salvador's president volunteered to put them in prison. New developments in the search for a missing U.S. college student who disappeared in the Dominican Republic. The man tied to the investigation is helping police with the search for Sudikisha Kananki. Now, 22-year-old Joshua Reeby was seen walking the beach with investigators yesterday, searching that general area where he may have last seen the University of Pittsburgh student. Reeby told police he and Kananki both almost drowned before he helped her get back to shore. He says she was still in knee-deep water when he last saw her, and when he woke up on the beach, she was gone. U.S. authorities say this is a missing persons case, not a criminal case at this point.
Today marks 1 year since a wife and mother was shot and killed protecting her sister in a custody dispute. 44-year-old Emily Steinhoff James was in Smithfield to support her sister. They were picking up her sister's 14-month-old child from the child's father, Dorian Thomas. Police say Thomas fired a shot that hit and killed James. Her family remembers her as an Army veteran, lawyer, and nurse. They say she was a talented actress and singer who shined at Raleigh Little Theater. James leaves behind a husband and young son. The trial for her murder is set for next month, April 14th. Thousands of people gathered in Baton Rouge, Louisiana to protest the execution of a death row inmate. Jesse Hoffman is set to die tomorrow by execution using nitrogen gas. Louisiana would become only the second state in the country to use this method of execution. It would also be the first execution in that state in 15 years. Lawyers for Hoffman have asked the court to use a more humane method. Nitrogen gas suffocates a person to death. Hoffman has been on death row since his conviction in 1996 for the murder of Mary Elliott in New Orleans. We are seeing Pope Francis for the first time since he was hospitalized more than a month ago. The Vatican released this picture showing the Pope at a hospital chapel in Rome. They say he participated in a mass service there yesterday. The Pope has been dealing with a respiratory illness for weeks.
Well, some terrible storms tore across the central U.S. this weekend, leaving more than 24 people dead. People all across that region are now assessing the damage. And Katie Byrne reports from Alabama.
Cleanup efforts underway across the South and Midwest.
Look at all that debris. Oh!
That's where a deadly wave of tornadoes touched down over the weekend, killing dozens of people.
It was just hell. Sounded like a war zone, stuff banging against the houses.
One of the hardest hit areas, Missouri, where officials say hundreds of homes, schools, and businesses have been damaged or destroyed. At least a dozen people in the state were killed. Some were found when neighbors conducted their own rescue efforts.
We were helping other people. We found a few bodies that was out in the field, a few deceased people.
Across the South, tornadoes tossed cars and toppled trees and power lines. Entire neighborhoods have been wiped out, and officials here expect the cleanup could take weeks, even months.
We've been through storms before, but nowhere near close to this at all. Especially the time we spent our entire lives in Georgia.
In Texas and Oklahoma, the damaging winds triggered deadly dust storms and fueled more than 100 wildfires. And the threat isn't over yet. Forecasters say fire weather will continue across the plains through Tuesday, impacting more than 20 million people.
It was just a perfect storm. It was the humidity levels went down to kind of record lows, below 10%, and then with the winds where they were, it just dried everything out.
That was Katie Byrne reporting. And now the White House says it will be assisting state and local officials with recovery efforts.
This storm system is certainly one of the most destructive that we can remember in recent years. The death toll alone just makes you stop in your tracks. Let's get right to meteorologist Amy Wilmoth with a look at all the storm reports spanning all across many states. Amy.
That's right. This was a big system that rolled through. Locally, we had storm reports that were just wind damage, not just wind damage, but wind damage. We didn't have any tornado reports in our area, but look at all the tornado reports down across the deep south. It was definitely a stronger, more potent system as it rolled through the Gulf Coast states compared to when it moved through our area. And it's been an active March so far. We've had 126 tornado reports in total so far for March. And look at this picture. It is dark in Durham. This is our live camera over downtown Durham. Man, it looks like it's about to storm at any moment. We'll show you the radar now. There are some showers in the area. No storms, but there is one little cell just north of town that is bringing those dark clouds to Durham. We'll take a closer look in a second. We also have some scattered showers in the northeastern part of our viewing area. We've seen some of those showers over Lake Gaston. And then here's downtown Durham where our camera is. Just north of downtown is where there's some pretty heavy rain, and it might just barely clip downtown Durham. In Apex, you have a shower rolling over your area right now. We had a shower close to the airport as well. And Sanford and Lee County getting some rain, some heavier rain just to the north and west of downtown Sanford. About an hour or so ago, we had some lightning with that one as well. And then look at this nice little band developing closer to the coast of some storms that's moving toward the Wilmington area. Around here, we don't expect severe weather, but there's leftover energy from the low pressure system, and so we're still seeing some rain in this region here, 2 to 4 inches, even over 4 inches in a few spots in the last couple of days. So we had some very heavy rain with this event. Still some spotty showers remain possible through the afternoon, and then during the evening commute, our rain chances start to drop, and we should be dry overnight tonight. This is a look at the cold front. Now, the cold front is offshore. The low pressure system, though, there's still some energy that it's wrapping around, and that's what's bringing us some of these scattered showers and few isolated storms as well. It is colder behind the front. In Boone, it's 33 degrees, still 58 in Raleigh and 64 in Fayetteville, but that's the cold air that'll settle in overnight tonight. Still fairly mild across our area, but look at Roxborough now. They've dropped to 48 degrees. So we'll probably start to see temperatures dropping in the next few hours, and by 10 p.m. the Triangle should be in the upper 40s, but it will be a colder night tonight. Maybe even some patchy frost in some spots. 33 in Roanoke Rapids, 37 for the low in Raleigh, 34 in Siler City, 37 in Rayford tonight, and 38 in Fayetteville. So tomorrow, definitely a day that you're going to need to dress in layers because it'll be warmer in the afternoon. This is the next weather maker that arrives on Thursday. It's a cold front that brings a chance for showers and maybe a stray storm or two, and then it'll be cooler behind that front as well. So about a 30% chance of rain today, a 40% chance Thursday, and a 30% chance Saturday. We're dodging some of those showers today in a few spots, 61, a little breezy as well. Beautiful tomorrow, though. Sunshine, 72. We're up to 79 Wednesday. And then our next chance for rain, maybe a few storms on the first official day of spring as we head into Thursday.
Quite a warm up right before the official spring day. Thank you, Amy. Final farewell. Now that Dreamville has announced the lineup for its 5th and final year for the festival in Raleigh, many people are asking, what's next? Coming up on WRAL News at 4, how the city of Raleigh plans to make up for the lost revenue after the festival says goodbye.
And hello to the NCAA. Tickets for the tournament are on the rise. Those ticket prices at 5 o'clock. How much it could cost you to get there and see a game. And still ahead this noon, cutting back, what a new report found when it comes to how much shoppers spent last month.
And water bottle recall. Next, the popular brand from Trader Joe's impacted and what to do if you have them in your home. Reports show shoppers barely increased spending last month, with anxiety rising over the U.S. economy. Worries over tariffs, inflation, and a possible recession are rattling shoppers now. Major companies say they are seeing cracks in demand. Rapidly changing tariff policy and mass government layoffs have fueled uncertainty. That's led to a sharp drop in consumer sentiment. Trader Joe's is recalling a bottled water product because the container may be cracked or damaged. The store is recalling certain imported bottles of Gerolsteiner sparkling natural mineral water. The product is a glass-bottled German mineral water. The Consumer Product Safety Commission says products with certain lot codes may have bottles that are cracked or damaged, which may make it more likely to leak or break. So if you have this bottled water, you can return it to where you bought it for a refund. Fashion retailer Forever 21 says it will permanently close all its U.S. stores. It's filed for bankruptcy for the second time in 6 years. The company released a statement saying stores in the U.S. will stay open and serve customers ahead of a gradual closing. Forever 21 has a store in Raleigh, Durham, and Fayetteville.
The deadline to file your taxes is now less than a month away. Despite the recent challenges the IRS has faced, tax professionals say they're not seeing many problems with people filing their taxes or getting their refunds. The agency, like many others, has faced upheaval since the Trump administration took over. About 6,700 probationary employees lost their jobs last month, and several top executives have left their positions. Today in Durham, you can ask questions about your property reappraisal and how you can appeal it. An information session is happening until 4:30 at North Regional Library. New appraisals for property owners in Durham started going out in the mail at the end of February. Many people are seeing big increases in value, and that could lead to bigger tax bills. More sessions will be held each weekday until the end of the month, as well as on the first 2 Saturdays in April.
March Madness excitement. Next, how much you can expect to pay for a ticket to a game.
Travel trend changes. Next up, what more people are doing to get out of town this year. And here, have a look at your winning NC Education lottery numbers on your screen. We'll be right back.
Shot in 4K ultra high definition. Your number one source for local news. WRAL News. Coverage you can count on.
We're tracking some of the rain that is moving through parts of our viewing area right now, and Lake Gaston right behind us here. You can see some raindrops coming down right there, and not just on the camera, but actually rain falling there.
Yeah, this residual rain just won't quit. Let's check in once again with meteorologist Amy Wilmoth. Amy, when will this push on through?
I think that we'll start to see the rain really start to diminish by the time we get to the evening commute, but still fairly active on the radar right now, especially as you get closer to the coast. A nice little line of showers and storms headed toward the Wilmington area. In Stanford and Lee County, we have some pockets of heavy rain on the western side of Stanford. We've seen some rain from our Stanford camera in Lee County. In Durham, just north and east of town, a pretty heavy shower there. We've also had a shower that moved through Apex, and in our northern counties, we still have some scattered showers as well. So still a little bit of rain showing up out there. This is a live look at Apex. A shower just moved through the area. I'll talk more about our rain chances for the end of the week and into the weekend coming up.
With both Duke and UNC in the NCAA tournament, many of you may want to catch a game in the early rounds.
It looks like those folks may be paying a little more than they bargained for. Ticket prices are skyrocketing already, as you can imagine, especially for some of the high-profile teams that will be showing up and playing at the Lenovo Center here in Raleigh. It's a home game, home crowd for Duke anyway. WRAL's Carly Haynes has been looking into this and joins us live now. Carly, what have you found?
Well, we are going to be seeing people flocking into the Lenovo Center for March Madness. And we talked to the local chair of the NCAA organizing committee, and he said games here are expected to bring in around $10 million to Raleigh. And as you said, some of the country's best college basketball teams are going to be coming to the Triangle. Two-time defending national champs UConn, they're playing Friday in Raleigh. So is Florida, which won the SEC tournament. And of course, we can't forget about Duke, which won the ACC regular season and tournament titles. So as we can expect, it's going to launch demand for tickets. We went to websites like Ticketmaster, and prices are up for games at the Lenovo Center, going for about $1,000 for some of the best sections. And now you compare that to Milwaukee, where some of the best seats are going for about $600.
20 of the best teams in America here between Friday and Monday competing to move on and advance to the next round. And you can just feel the excitement in the air. Everybody's talking about it.
Now, all three Triangle ACC women's basketball teams are top 3 seeds, each hosting opening weekend games. So a lot more there as well. And the local chair said that the majority of people who are attending these games are expected to come from out of state. So that means more money going into hotels, to restaurants, and even to RDU, which is good news for everyone. Carly Haynes, WRAL News, live in Raleigh.
And good hoop all over the place right here. Now, if you invested some time in the PGA tournament yesterday on WRAL as it got rain delayed for 4 hours, they finished it this morning in a playoff, and maybe it was the St. Patrick's Day boost Rory McIlroy needed to overtake J.J. Spahn in 3 holes. How do you beat a guy from Northern Ireland on St. Paddy's Day? You don't. McIlroy took care of business, and now he takes home the trophy and the $4.5 million first place prize.
UNC Children's Down Syndrome Clinic will open this week. It opens Friday, which is World Down Syndrome Day. A grand opening event is happening as we speak. It's a dedicated place to provide care for children and adults with Down syndrome. The clinic was made possible thanks to a $100,000 grant from the North Carolina Down Syndrome Alliance. Tonight, Durham City Council leaders will meet for the first time to discuss their upcoming budget and focus on where your tax dollars should be spent. A group of community members will rally before the meeting. They are calling for an expansion of community safety with the HEART program. It sends unarmed responders out to some emergency calls. Since the program launched in 2022, they've responded to more than 26,000 calls. Now they want city leaders to expand the program from 12 hours a day to 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. They also want it to go beyond city limits to cover all of Durham County, as well as Durham Public Schools.
Any resources that we're able to give our kids to help them with their quality of life, reduce the risk of violence, like prioritize de-escalation and techniques and all of that, within the school system. That's needed and it's necessary and it's needed right now.
During the city's 2023-24 budget cycle, council invested nearly $2 million into the community safety department to fund the HEART program, and it will take much more this year for fuller coverage.
Lee County is celebrating today the opening of a newly renovated playground. A ribbon cutting was held at 10 o'clock this morning at Sand Lee Park on Pumping Station Road. The county says that new playground has modern equipment designed to encourage physical activity, social interaction, and imaginative play for children 12 and under. Covering Wake County, a new greenway is now open in Holly Springs. The Middle Creek Greenway connects 2 major thoroughfares, Sunset Lake Road and Holly Springs Road. Officials say they eventually plan to connect it to a greenway in Apex as well. Town officials plan to put up pots of gold along the greenway for people to win prizes.
Changing travel trends. Vacations are more expensive nowadays. Next, what most people are turning to help them save some money. And feeling green. It's the color of the day today for St. Patrick's Day. Next, why doctors say many people enjoy the color on just a regular day. We love that you're spending some time with us now. Remember, you can watch WRAL News live anytime on WRAL.com or the WRAL app on your streaming device. Traveling is not cheap right now, but new trends show how some are making vacation a little more affordable. More people are driving instead of flying. People are also bringing their pets more often. They stay in pet-friendly accommodations. The hotel upcharge is not as expensive as the additional cost of a pet sitter. One professor says this is being done instead of calling off vacation altogether.
What we might be expecting would be something people choosing for shorter trips or closer destinations, but so that even though they can spend less money, but they still satisfy the need for a good vacation.
You can still get away and recharge. Other trends show how travelers like to spend their money. That includes shopping at small businesses among locals of their destination rather than staying at big resorts. If you do decide to take an overseas vacation, it's important to know the latest travel rules for European destinations. The European Union initially planned the rollout of a travel authorization for people from visa-exempt countries. That includes the U.S. The requirement was postponed until 2026. However, the UK says people looking to visit must apply for an electronic travel authorization before booking their flights.
Are you pulling out your favorite green outfit for St. Patrick's Day? Renee has her dress, I have my tie, right? Well, beyond its association with the holiday, the color green can spark many positive emotions. Cleveland Clinic psychologist Susan Albers says simply being around the color green can have benefits. You can do things like wear a green shirt, take a walk in nature. Green can also make you feel like you're going to hit the lottery since it's associated with luck, along with impacting how we feel. Dr. Albers says colors can influence what we buy as well. For example, there's a reason why we may gravitate toward green items at the grocery store.
Because green has such a positive association and is often linked with health, manufacturers, advertisers use green as a way to signal that products may be healthier in nature.
And aside from the positive, Dr. Albers says adds green it's tied to negative emotions like jealousy as well. You know the phrase, green with envy. It's a thing. AirTag security threats. Next, 5 on Your Side shares how criminals are making the Apple devices harder to track and to protect victims of stalking.
And scammers on the prowl. Next, just how much money the FTC refunded to people scammed last year.
A local woman is urging Apple to take stronger action after an unknown AirTag tracked her from Lewisburg to Raleigh and back again without her knowing. Frustrated by dead ends with both Apple and law enforcement, she called Keely for help. And Keely joins us now. What exactly happened to this woman?
Oh, Jeff, this is quite the story.
Yeah.
So Brianna Bunn, she's 25 years old. She owns a business from Franklin County. She got an Apple alert 2 weeks ago saying that an unknown AirTag had been tracking her car for 7 hours. Apple allows users to trigger a sound to locate and disable the unknown device. But when Bunn tried to do that, she heard nothing.
Do we know why this happened the way this did? Was she ever able to locate it?
She wasn't. So we know that criminals have been trying to disable speakers, and that's the key. Apple has safety features, but unless you have the physical device, there's no way to disable it or to trace it. Apple says they plan to release a more tamper-proof version of the AirTag later this year, but right now, nothing.
Yeah, well, she couldn't find it, so couldn't do it that way. What can she do? This has to be a scary situation, stalking.
Yes, it is stalking, we think. I mean, and that's the other thing. There's so many missing pieces to this puzzle. She even hired a mechanic to find the AirTag, kind of taking the car piece by piece. The experience has left her on edge. She still cannot find the AirTag. And AirTag stalking, while it's something that might seem niche, it is real. There have been local arrests right here in Raleigh.
That is one of those stories.
Yes.
Certainly. Take a minute on that. You can watch Keely's full story at 5 o'clock tonight, 5 on Your Side story tonight at 6 o'clock. I want to get that right. 6 o'clock. Tune in for that story. That is an unbelievable story, Keely. Thanks.
The Federal Trade Commission says it sent $337 million worth of refunds to consumers last year. That's the agency you can contact if a company has scammed you. The FTC's annual report on refunds to consumers breaks down refunds by state. It also has a list of cases. Nearly $100 million went to people who were cheated by benefit technologies for fake health plans. Get your tax questions answered for free with Tax Pros on Call. WRAL's 5 on Your Side and the North Carolina Society of Enrolled Agents are teaming up to help you with your taxes. Tomorrow from 4 until 7 p.m., federally licensed tax professionals will be taking your calls, answering your questions for free. So get your question ready for Tax Pros on Call tomorrow. The Powerball jackpot has jumped to nearly $400 million. Nobody matched all numbers in Saturday's drawing. The jackpot is $398 million. It will have a cash value of at least $185 million. The next drawing will happen tonight. You can watch it right here on WRAL at 11 p.m. And meteorologist Amy Wilmus joins us now. And yeah, spending some time outdoors, you're going to start to feel the pollen.
And if you're wondering why I'm starting with this instead of radar, look what the first thing is. Pine.
The yellow stuff.
It's here. Yeah, the yellow dust that covers everything. This is the first time it's showing up in our pollen report. And it typically lasts about 3 weeks. So I know things are kind of better today, but this is just a look at the latest sampling that really covers what we had Sunday into Monday. Look how dark it is over downtown Durham still. We're watching the radar carefully. There's a pretty strong cell that's just to the north and east of town, but man, it is dark there over downtown Durham. Here's where that little cell is. It's about to cross into Wake County, close to the airport, but it will likely just barely miss the airport in Raleigh. So here's a look at that storm. It's now actually just due east of downtown Durham. Looks to be weakening a little bit, but still pretty heavy cell that's moving into Wake County at this point. Chapel Hill, another round of rain moving through your area as well. So still pretty unsettled today. We've had some scattered showers in Apex. Those are moving. They're really between Apex and Garner area. Cary getting some of that rain as well. Sanford, you've had some rain back down just to the east of the Vass area. And then in our northern counties, we have some scattered showers. So still fairly active. We have a few more hours to go before all the rain starts to move away. The reason that we have this rain, yesterday's rain and overnight rain, it came from this cold front that moved through. This is a look at the water vapor imagery. So one of the satellites that we can look at that shows us the mid and upper level energy. And where you see these blues, that's where we have a little bit of energy, and that's where we're seeing some of these showers and even some isolated storms as well. We've had some very heavy rain in some spots. Roanoke Rapids, over 4.5 inches reported there. Just over 4 inches in Willow Spring, over 3 inches in Warrenton and Clayton, about 3 inches in Wake Forest, and a little over 2 inches in Apex. So some really good rain falling yesterday, and still today we're getting some more rain. We've really just had a couple of days where we've had some rain. We actually broke the record rainfall back on March 5th. So we've only had a few days where we've had to deal with the rain so far this March, but we're running pretty close to normal for our rain totals for the month of March. It's also pretty breezy outside. We have gusts at 29 miles per hour in Fayetteville, 28 miles per hour in Rocky Mount, 18 miles per hour in Raleigh and Durham. It will stay a little breezy through the day today. Hour by hour, next few hours, we have the chance for some scattered showers, and then for the evening commute, things should start to dry out, and then skies will clear, and it gets colder tonight, down into the 30s. 37 in Durham and Goldsboro, 34 in South Hill, 36 in Southern Pines. So in the areas that you see shaded in blue, that's where we could see a little bit of patchy frost overnight tonight into tomorrow morning. And I know some things have been budding, and you'll probably want to protect anything that is sensitive to some of these colder temperatures. And then as we head into Thursday, that's our next weather maker. It brings us the chance for a few showers and storms, and we'll cool off a little bit behind that. So some active weather today. That rain starts to move out. It's quiet Tuesday and Wednesday, another round of rain and maybe a few storms on the first day of spring as we head into Thursday.
Thanks, Amy. Returning to Earth, 2 astronauts will soon be back on the ground after a 9-month space voyage. The lengthy journey it took to get them back home.
Here's a look at a few of the headlines we're following today. The man accused of shooting a 15-year-old in the head in Nash County is being held on a $500,000 bond. Zachary Bryant appeared in court for the first time this morning. He faces 4 felonies. Bryant asked the judge for a lower bond, but the judge handed down the $500,000 bond. He's due back in court next month for a probable cause hearing.
Work to build a new city hall in downtown Raleigh will come with some traffic issues. Starting today, the westbound lane of Hargett Street between McDowell and Dawson will be closed through the end of the year. City officials say the new building is about 20% done. They say it will be more convenient for employees and people who live in that area.
In the last hour, Dreamville Festival dropped its lineup. Lil Wayne headlined Saturday night. J. Cole will headline Sunday. Cole is from Fayetteville. He created this festival, and this is the event's 5th and final year. Tickets are on sale now for Saturday, April 5th and Sunday, April 6th. Dreamville is at Dix Park in Raleigh.
2 astronauts who've been in space for 9 months are expected to return to Earth tomorrow. Butch Wilmore and Sonny Williams are on track to come home after a SpaceX Dragon capsule docked with the International Space Station yesterday. NASA and SpaceX are assessing weather conditions for a splashdown off Florida's coast tomorrow night. Wilmore and Williams were only supposed to be on that space station for 10 days last June. They have been stuck there because of problems with the capsule that took them there.
Look at these lucky charms. Babies from UNC Health Chapel Hill's NICU got dressed up in festive green. Some of them even have props with them, like little hats and bows. Hospital staff says most parents welcome these festive distractions during their time in the NICU, as it can be understandably stressful and exhausting. Well, some exciting news for Ken Smith. He and his wife, Amanda, welcomed their 4th child named Sarah Catherine. She was born Friday and weighs 9 pounds. She is named in honor of Amanda's grandmother. Oh, those cheeks.
Yeah.
So scrumptious.
She is gorgeous. Not born today, so not wearing the green. So Pie Day Friday, baby.
And Ken and Amanda now have 4 under 4. Frankie, Lee and Louisa, the twins, and Sarah Catherine joining the group. It's time now for a look at our pets of the day, Evie and Chester. They are 4-month-old boxer mixes. Chester loves attention while Evie wants a job and is a leader. If you are interested in adopting them, call ARF Rehab. They're at the number on your screen, 894-1111.
Dreamville dropped. Another music festival takes its last bow in Raleigh. How the city plans to make up for that lost revenue in the multi-millions of dollars.
Well, hope you enjoy St. Patty's Day, whatever you plan on doing, and maybe we can kick the clouds out of here at some point. NBC News Daily is next on WRAL, your next local news update in 30 minutes.
We'll be working on that sunshine as well. You get breaking news updates anytime with the WRAL News app. Have a great St. Patrick's Day.
Keep watching WRAL News over the air channel 34 and Spectrum channel 1257.